Hello parents and students, hope you're doing well. We're going to actually do our constructive response and finish that up with adding a reflection, a thought, an opinion, or a memory that somehow personally relates us to the question. Sometimes it's kind of difficult to find something in your own life that relates to what you're reading. But that's a very important part of reading and understanding and comprehending the text is for it to be a little bit more personal than just answering the question. We're going to use our constructive response pyramid. We've already found out that highlighting the text is something we've already did before, so that was probably the easiest part. We're going to finish up our constructive responses by coming up with a conclusion. You will probably need a highlighter since we'll re-highlight the portions that answer the question, and you just have to follow along. We're going to go back and do highlight the text or citing the evidence. We're going to do that again. If you don't have this copy, we're going to do that again. So go ahead and follow along with me. Stop the video if I go too fast. These are all the parts of the text where we got our answers from, and they don't come out in the copy machine very well. So there's the area of the text where all our answers came from. Here's a copy of our answers from the text. Why did Erica not wear the same color? Why did Erica not wear the same colored shirt 2 days in a row? Erica did not wear the same colored shirt because she believed that you couldn't experience each day anew. And we've got that from here. She believed that you couldn't experience each day as a new day if you wore yesterday's color. So we wrote it in our own words just to shorten it slightly. So we did a restatement, we answered the question, we highlighted the text. Now we're going to add a personal response to our question over here, or our answer to our question over here. And a personal response is something that affects you personally. Again, it's going to be reflection, a thought, opinion, a memory. And I remember, and I still do to this day, I have like a favorite shirt or a favorite jacket that I like to wear every day. So I'm not like Erica. I like sometimes to wear my favorite jacket or my favorite shirt or my shoes. I don't know what she does about shoes. So I'm going to say I like wearing my favorite jacket every day. That's my personal response. I'm answering the question and saying something about me that could be similar to the character or different than the character. You put your own in there. I like wearing my favorite jacket every day. You could have another personal response that you like. What does Erica like about Jenna's personality? Erica likes Jenna because she was thoughtful and helpful. I help my neighbor. GH. Across the street. My neighbor, his wife is having a baby. They're out of town, and he asked me to feed their dogs. When I'm out of town or need a favor, I go ask him. So I like people that are, well, they're helpful. I'm not sure if he's thoughtful or not. We aren't that close of friends. But I'm putting my personal response in there to this question. I help my neighbor across the street too. So I do these kinds of things that that Jenna and Erica do. I'm putting my personal response in there. Why did they take a long route home? This was going to be a little bit more difficult. They took a long route home to avoid the soccer game. I'm trying to think of an example, a memory, a thought, a reflection, an opinion. If I was kind of a troublemaker, I would just run through the soccer game to avoid the tree. I would have ran through the soccer game. That's what I would have done. I wouldn't have gone around the soccer game and gone by the spooky tree. I just would have ran through the soccer game. Again, this is what I would have personally done to solve the problem. They did something differently. I would have done something that I thought, if I were put in that situation, I would do. Are you getting the idea of a personal response? Okay, a conclusion. So by putting a personal response in here, we're telling the readers also that I'm closing my answer. I'm done with this. I've told you about Jenna and Erica. I've told you about myself, and now I'm done. I'm finished. So this is what we call about a conclusion, is ending what we're saying in writing. Name 2 places Jenna volunteered to work at after school. Jenna volunteered volunteered at school as a tutor and at the animal shelter on Saturday. I'm trying to think if I've ever volunteered for something before. I can't think of anything offhand, but I have thought so here's a thought. I have thought of volunteering at soup kitchens for Thanksgiving. Soup kitchens are where they feed usually the homeless or other families who don't have enough money or don't have a place to cook. They're usually, soup kitchens are part of a shelter, but they welcome anybody, even if you can't cook at home. They welcome people in there to have a Thanksgiving dinner. And it's helping the poor. It's helping people that are in more need than we are. And that's a good thing to do on Thanksgiving. So even though I haven't done it, that's my thought. I've thought about doing it, but I haven't yet. Maybe this year will be the time I do that. The story setting begins at what location? The story settings begin at the card store in the mall. I'm going to say here, we have a mall in Gallup. but it doesn't sell cards. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I have not seen a card store in Gallup Mall. Maybe you have, and your answer would be, I have gotten cards from the card store in the mall before. That might be your answer. Your answers are not my answers because this is about Mr. Budinger. Your answers are going to be about yourself. So answer differently each of these questions. Don't write the answers down that I'm writing down. You come up with your own personal response. Because I don't know what your thoughts are or your opinions. I don't have any of your memories. I only have my memories. Erica was surprised to see Jenna reach for the cat because she's superstitious. I'm not superstitious. But scary trees and houses spook me. Spook me too. So I've just done the finishing part of my constructed response. I wrote a reflection, a thought, an opinion, a memory. I concluded. We call that a conclusion whenever we do that. It's a conclusion of my answers. Your answers should be different. Okay. Oh, I'm going to say your personal responses. That would be better. Your answers can be different also, but your personal responses should be completely different. So your personal responses should be different. And I'll put this in there as a sample. I'll clean this up a little bit so you can read a little bit better. Good luck with finishing your constructed response.